Mm. Hi, I'm Tanya with Utah Fertility Center. Thanks for taking time to do this Facebook Live with me today. I just wanted to tell you a little bit about myself and give you some helpful hints on how to choose an egg donor. So I have been working in this industry for nearly 14 years now. My focus is on third-party reproduction. So third-party reproduction is when we use an extra person to help create a baby. Typically only takes 2 people, but sometimes it takes 3 or 4 people to actually create a family. And that's third-party reproduction. So that can be using an egg donor, a gestational carrier, and using 1 or 2 different sperm samples depending on your family type. So over the 14 years, I have helped many families from all over the world: Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, Germany, France, Switzerland, Italy, Australia, Canada, and many countries from South America, just to name a few of the different countries. I love learning about other cultures and people from other areas, and building families is my passion. So Utah Fertility Center has a very strong international program and third-party program. Dr. Folk, our director, has been doing this for about 25 years, and he has given us the tools to really create something special here. We have an in-house donor program of about 250 donors. That is unusual to have a large database in that way, and I'm told we're one of the largest in the world. The donors on our database are unique in the fact that they've already been medically screened. So if you find a donor you like on our database, it means that they're either already proven, so they've created a family for someone else, or they're brand new to our database and their hormone levels and their ultrasound tests make us feel like they're a really good option for you. Now, how do you choose an egg donor? It's such a personal journey, and first thing you really want to do is get access to a database. All you have to do is reach out to us through Facebook or our website or many other ways to communicate with us, and I'm happy to give you access to the database. So access to the database is going to look something like this. The database lists all of the donors that we currently have available on here. It gives you a childhood picture, a reference number. This 3-digit reference number is very important when we're talking about donors. It talks about racial description, the donor's age, height, weight, eye color, and hair color. So if a donor is on our database and she's 19 or she's 32, we still believe that she is a good option. So don't narrow yourself down to an age, because we've done the testing to make sure that the donor is a good viable option on our database. So as you go down, you can scroll through and kind of get an idea of what's available on here. So I'm just going to click on this donor right here to just give you an idea of additional information that you can find about a donor. So this particular donor, once you click into her profile, you get to see adult pictures of her. This gal is a beautiful, proven donor that I have met her many times, spend a lot of time with her. She's a really special personality. So we have the adult pictures and then childhood pictures so that you can identify whether or not this is someone who meets your physical expectations. Then as you go through our database, and I know this is super small so you can't see it, so I'll just kind of read some highlights to you. It tells you their age, their height, their weight, and other miscellaneous information like their shoe size. Is their hair thick? Is their hair curly? Is their hair straight? Things like that. Then there are many other tabs here that you can click on. One of my favorites is the personal motivations page. So the personal motivations page talks about your donors or potential donors' personality. It talks about why are they doing this? What do they feel like their strengths are? what would they change in their life? Things to give you an idea about the person behind the physical characteristics. It goes through and talks about their education. It goes through skills and abilities. So are they strongest in math? Are they strongest in art? Are they an exceptional dancer? What is it about them that makes them different than other people? Then there are many, many pages here that talk about their own medical health, their children's medical health, and their family's medical health. So, for instance, did they ever wear braces? Do they wear hearing aids? Do they wear glasses? This page is also one of my favorites. It really gives you an idea about their family. So maybe you're really wanting somebody who is a little bit taller. This tells you that this particular donor, her father is 6'1" and her mother is 5'7". And then it goes through parents, grandparents, and siblings. So you can get kind of an idea of what heights run in their family. Also, hair color, eye color, body frame, what is their ancestry from. So you can really take a ton of information off of here and choose somebody who meets your physical characteristics that matches your family. Then there are 2 full pages of medical history. Questions like, is there anyone in their family that has heart disease? Does anyone in their family have issues with asthma, with thyroid disorders, mental health questions, cancer? How many people wear glasses? There is multiple questions about every system in the body to find out if you feel like this is somebody you would feel comfortable using their egg. Now, knowing all of this information, to choose the right donor for you is so personalized. So, is height important to you? Hair color, eye color, somebody who resembles your family? Maybe none of that matters at all to you, and you only care about their education or their strengths. Maybe you want someone who is very musical or someone who plays sports very well. Family and medical history might be very important to you, making sure that there are no major medical issues in their family. That being said, every donor on our database is someone that our medical director feels is a good risk for you. There are some ladies who do have some medical issues in their family, but maybe those issues are something like diabetes. So if there's a few family members that have type 2 diabetes, that does not mean a child created from that egg would be if there's a lifestyle change. So it runs in families, but also so do behaviors. So if in the family there is a trend of people being overweight and not very active, then they're at higher risk for type 2 diabetes. So looking at the medical history, ask us questions. We are here to help you and talk to you about whether or not that is something that is lifestyle related or that is something that runs in families and your child is at high risk of getting if you use this egg donor. So asking lots of questions, doing research on your own about the things that you find to make sure that you're comfortable with it. Things like prostate cancer are in every family. So whether or not prostate cancer scares you or if you're comfortable with it because you know it's already in the family that you're currently in, so the child would still be at risk for that. It wouldn't increase their risk, it would just be identical to the risk that they are already receiving. So as you're going through this, really picking out what's important. And the only way you can do that is by getting onto a database that has some options and really do just some shopping. I know it's kind of a silly analogy, but if you were looking for running shoes, you know you want running shoes, you need to get online, you need to get into the store, you need to see what's available what your options are, and identify what is most important about those shoes that best suit what you're going to use them for. Donors are the same thing. You want to get on, you want to look at the information available and find out what you think is most important to you. And then you'll meet with me, and we can do that virtually over Skype or WhatsApp, and we're going to talk about the donors that meet your expectations. So maybe you choose 5 or 10 of your favorite donors, and you talk to me about why did you choose these donors. Maybe it was education, maybe it was height, maybe it was family history, and we're going to talk about each individual donor, their prior cycles, if they're a new donor, what their hormone levels are, what their ultrasound levels look like, and we're going to be talking about whether or not that is a good option for you. If the donor is not a good option for you, but it's in your top favorites, maybe I could make some suggestions for you. Of the almost 250 donors that we have on our database, me or someone on my team knows them and feels comfortable with them. So I can very easily say, so you like this girl because of her height and her beautiful brown eyes, so maybe you should look at this one because she has those similar characteristics. So working with someone who understands the database, which would be me, and someone who really knows the donors can give you suggestions, help you identify what you're choosing within those donors that is important to you, and give you some really great options. So most frequently asked questions when it comes to donor cycles is, so I choose a donor, how quickly can I start? How quickly can I get embryos? So the part that takes the longest is the choosing of the donor. It's a big decision, and your heart has to feel really good about it. After that, you choose a donor. We confirm her availability. We create a calendar for her that matches her life, works around her work schedule, maybe a travel commitment, something like that. Once we get a calendar committed, which usually takes only about 6 weeks, then we can start creating embryos. Once we start creating embryos, that donor does injections in her belly for just about 2 weeks, and then we can retrieve those eggs, inseminate those eggs with the sperm, and create those embryos. So once the embryos are created, most people like to do PGTA, or otherwise known as PGS testing, which is chromosome testing. It takes a couple weeks to get those results back as well, and then we can start talking about embryo transfers from there. So start to finish, from when you choose a donor to actually having embryos, is usually about 6 or 8 weeks if everybody moves quickly and things come together appropriately. But that's the average. Does anybody have any questions or anything that I can help you with?
You can submit them afterwards too.
And you can submit those afterwards too. I don't know if... We didn't open the Skype so they can send questions. So I'm not seeing that anybody has any questions currently. But please let me know what you are interested in. Please fill out our contact form so that we can get a hold of you. If you don't speak English, that's okay. We have people that can help us work together that can make that bridge for us for the language barrier. So looking forward to meeting you.
Do you want to
Thanks
mention
so
the
much.
webinar?
Oh, yes, sorry, thanks. We have a webinar coming next week. The webinar is next Thursday, the 16th. It's at 11 a.m. Utah time, which is 7 p.m. in Europe. So please join us. You'll meet me, my teammate Alyssa, Dr. Folk. There will be a gestational carrier agency available, as well as an attorney. That everyone works very much with third-party reproduction and can help guide you to your next steps and answer all of your questions. Thanks so much.